Sorry, when the dogs went crazy, I got a phone call at the exact same time, and it was somebody, well, it was one of my kids, so I was like, oh, I should take this out and talk to her in a couple days. And one thing that she was saying, I just want to put that out there, is she has to work out in the public, and she has tons of people out sick at her work. And she said, oh, there's so much sickness going right now. So, you know, it's just important. Like when I worked at the hospital, you didn't walk around wearing one of these. That's ridiculous. But you have to, that is when you are working in a place, that is where you really got to be conscientious of what you're doing with your hands and not putting them up around anywhere up here. Because you're at work and, you know, somebody comes in, they sneeze on the counter, you touch it, and you pick something up off of there and you don't think about it. And then you reach up and you do that. And then later you come in and you do that. You just rubbed all of those germs, because there's a lot of germs that will just stay there. There's germs, all germs have their own little existence. Like when you start learning about like HIV, Hep C, and all this stuff about how they can live in certain places and they die and they need blood to be alive. Like there's a lot of complicated things, but when you're talking about all of just these germs that are causing all this sickness out there, where we've got all these sick people and people have so much reduced their immune system by wearing these, it's really important. Like if you're someplace where you have to wear them to be at work, make sure that you go out, even if it's only in your car, somewhere out where you're getting fresh air, and take it off and do some really deep breaths. Get some deep breaths, get some clean air in there, cough out all of the debris or gunk in there. You know, take some deep ones and do some really deep coughing and stuff before you put it back on. Don't put those germs in there. You don't want to be sucking those germs all day. You should change your mask as often as possible. I mean, you don't want to get all crazy about every 15 minutes pulling one out, but you know, if you have to wear one all day, you should still for sure consider probably wearing 3 or 4 throughout the day. And also there is the most important thing is your immune system. Really, really focus on your own health. Going out, don't trust this, don't trust this, don't trust anything. Trust you taking care of yourself and with your immune system. So really focus on like what foods are good for my immune system. You know, how much sleep do I feel where I feel like I'm at my best? You know, get out and walk and do some type of exercise. Because it kind of like it stimulates your system to get moving. It kind of heats it up. It stokes the fire. But you need to get those times where you do clean out your lungs. You know, you exert yourself, like do a little something, whatever exerts you. Exert yourself so you do cough up the junk and get some deep breath in there. That's how old people get pneumonia and stuff. You know, the shallow breathing, and that's what we've got going on. You breathe shallow. You're not getting good air. You're not getting good clean air moving. Hold on. Gosh, she's so dramatic lately. Hold on. I'm gonna have 2 seconds. Come on, go lay down. Anyways, so that is what is important. And the immune things that I've heard some doctors talking about that are super important is the magnesium, selenium, and the vitamin C. And if you get the vitamin C, you have to get the really high concentrate. And from what I've heard, the powder is just rancid tasting. So you want to probably get the capsules. They're saying you should be up at 10,000, but by 5,000 units, you can already be getting diarrhea and stuff. So as much as your body can handle, but you got to pay attention to your body, you know. But the higher doses of vitamin C, the magnesium and the selenium, oh, I can't remember the exact amounts. It was 500 of magnesium and 250 micrograms of selenium. Like, you don't need a whole lot of it, but those really are immune system building. So yeah, if you're having to go out and work during this really, time of so much sickness, that is what you need to focus on. And you really have to be mindful. If you're wearing this, you have to go out and take deep breaths. You have to exert your, to get your lungs to breathe deep. That is why old people die of pneumonia, is because they're kind of like, they don't even have the ability to take deep breaths anymore. It's kind of like, this is how I see it. This is what I see happening all the time. Is almost like people being convinced that they're sick before they're sick, and then they just allow it. They surrender to it. So they just go along with the story. So it just seems like there's a lot of old people who just reaches a point of like, they stop trying and they don't take good care of themselves. And it's super, super important to continue taking care of yourself the whole time. Continue doing stuff. Don't ever stop doing like things with weights. Even if you're using soup cans, whatever, something. Because like the other day when my mom was saying that she hammered something, and then the next day her whole shoulder and arm was killing her for days. I was like, you have to work those muscles out. You can't, you shouldn't strain your muscles so much that you're going to be in that much pain from hammering something. That just shows you've stopped using those muscles. So whatever the things are, what I found is living alone and then having a house that needed so much work, is I needed to be able to do work, and be able to be that fit to be able to do stuff, pick up a ladder. You have to have a strong core if you're picking up a ladder that's like, I don't even know how tall that thing is, like 12 foot. And then they extend out. And like my ceiling here is like 20 feet, I think, or something. So you have to extend it out. Like, it takes muscles in your core and your arms, your chest. And when you start doing stuff, you start seeing what hurts. You need to keep working that and keep working it and get yourself back to being strong. Don't play along and just surrender to the narrative of what they tell you, of what your life is, or how long it will last, or any of the stuff. That's where you claim your sovereignty. You claim, I don't care what you say. I'll take care of myself, until I can't. And, but that is when people start getting really old and they have stopped really using any muscles, they don't go to work anymore, a lot become more isolated. A lot of their friends die off and they don't really do a lot. They just kind of hang out at their house, maybe read. Maybe you get some who travel and stuff, but they stop really exerting themselves or doing much. Definitely not doing much strength training and stuff, which, if they continued the whole time, a 90-year-old could easily get down and do push-ups. There should be no reason why they stop. It's the stopping is what causes the deterioration and the aging, the not taking care of yourself. It is the surrender. It's just giving your body over and, let it be, and it will fall apart. You have to consciously always be taking care of it, as long as you want to care about yourself and what you're doing here. You need to take care of your vehicle. So but those people, when they get like that and they stop taking deep breaths, they can't really even do it. Like, you have to go in and you have to do these breathing things with them to get them to do it, and their breath is so weak, so they don't get air all the way down in their lungs, and then it gets full of like just gunk and particles and stuff like that, and they don't cough it out. And so then it starts getting bacteria and no movement. So that's how they start building up these pneumonias and stuff. And that's what kills them, which is a peaceful way to go. But a lot of them, it's premature. But wearing these things and not taking deep breaths and not exerting yourself and stuff. I mean, the stuff where you're seeing, like, people out jogging with them on, people riding in a convertible with them on. I mean, they just don't even understand how it works. Like, if they understood, they wouldn't do it, because it's just ridiculous. So it makes no sense. People are just not thinking for themselves. They're just doing whatever. I don't know. Maybe their station's saying, hey, you better wear this, even if you're driving in a car with the roof off. Like, I don't know. Germs don't work that way, you know. Germs have certain rules. Bacteria, all of it. Just like what I was saying. Like, it makes a difference how long it can live on certain surfaces. It makes a difference the environment needs to be on the surface for it to live. Like, there's a lot of stuff. And yeah, they can't just live out in the air like that. That's not how it works. Yeah, you can be close up to somebody and them sneeze, and then their sneeze go and get into your eyes or on your face, and then later you wipe it, and those germs would be what get you sick. It's not just germs that are out there, just people breathing, and that those are gonna, I mean, just think about it logically. We would all be sick all the time if it was just, you know, us breathing each other's air was going to get us sick. I mean, think about it. But anyways, it's just important is when you are working someplace where it is sick, that is when you need to pay attention to keep it that little bit of distance, just in case they do sneeze or cough, you know. You don't want to get that on you. If somebody does sneeze or cough near you, go wash your face. Wash the germs off your face. Wash your hands, you know. That's all it is, you know, they've gotten germs on your face. We're interacting with germs all of the time. That's just part of our existence, is germs and little bugs and stuff like that. So anyways, just be mindful, but don't be paranoid. Don't you know, don't let it take over your brain. It's become a phobia, this fear of death and sickness and stuff. You know, we've been living with it our whole life, so it's getting a little kooky. But there was a couple more things I wanted to talk about, so I'll be right back.